Hello!
Good afternoon.
Hey everyone!
Okay.
Welcome to Hobby Hangout, where we hobby and we hang, and it's super fun. My name is Leona. I'm one of the editors at Game Trade Media, and with me today I have Gretchen from Painting Happ Lil Minis and Jeff Hall from Games and Stuff. Games and Stuff is a local hobby shop here in the Maryland, Baltimore area.
How's everybody doing?
Woohoo! Thanks for joining us, Jeff.
Sure.
Really appreciate it.
Whack the camera.
Special guest.
Mm-hmm.
Special guest. So for those of you who are frequent watchers, Dave is away. He is off the grid.
He's camping of all things.
He's
pseudo camping.
He is truly off the grid. Cannot get in contact with him. Maybe a magic spell will reach him. So Jeff is here to give his expertise in mini painting as well. How long have you been painting, Jeff?
Ooh, do I really have to say that? That makes me look really old.
Okay, well,
let's just go with over 30 years.
Wow, awesome. That's amazing. Now, do you have any miniatures that you have really stood out to you over the years that you're like, I love that one?
Yeah, there's been a few. The original Archeon from Games Workshop, on the flaming horse and all, was one of my favorites. For those of you who might not know, I used to work at Games Workshop with Dave. That's where Dave and I became close friends, and so I used to run the games days, grand tournaments, travel across the country, do all that. So that particular model won me a Golden Demon back when we had those painting competitions. So yeah, that's one stuck out with me. And I'm not as prolific as Dave in terms of painting like 100 models a week like he likes to do, but I've painted a lot of minis over my time.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. So.
And
Today I'm painting an Undead Beholder. Again, my camera always feels backwards when I'm doing this on my laptop. There you go. So that's what I'll be working on today.
Woohoo! And what are different colors are you using?
Well, because he's kind of weird and decrepit, I'm going to do lots of browns and burnt siennas and rusty colors on him. So he'll be brown to brownish oranges and things for his old dried leathery skin.
Very nice. I love that. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but did you help Dave with a free RPG day?
I did. Yeah, I wrote all the adventure hooks in the Painting a Library booklet for that. So that was lots of fun to work on.
Awesome. Dave had talked to us about that a couple weeks ago.
Cool.
And actually someone in the group shared the miniature that they got. So shout out to Jeff. For those of you watching, Jeff also helped out.
Those are lots of my minis in the booklet as well. Lots of my terrain and things in there. So nice.
That's really cool. Let me just say hi to people who are in the chat. Thank you for watching. We have Michael in the chat. Hello.
Hey.
Timothy, let's see some painting. We also have Sumkey, Roger Moore, DeWild, Graham. Hello. This week's hot weather has broken and it's now stormy and cooler. Nice to see you all again.
The same. We're still but I'm sure it'll maybe lead to cooler weather. Possibly. Fingers crossed. I would like a little bit of a fall, a nice.
It'd be great because right now it's just wet and humid, so it doesn't feel any better.
I feel like I'm back in Louisiana.
The ground is just soaked. So
yeah.
We also have Chris Slayfield. Hello. They're at work today, but next week they'll have a miniature to share that I painted with my colorblind glasses.
Oh, that'll be very interesting.
I see that. We also have Jeff Smith. Don't worry, Jeff. I'm still older than you.
Yeah, well, I've known Jeff for a long time too.
That's great. So Gretchen, what are you painting today?
So I sent you a picture.
Oh yes.
Via Facebook, so that people could actually see the progress on the dragon instead of the not quite as lit up bits, and actually see that I am in fact little by little going to get done with these spikes You can see I have some of the color blocked out on the tail, because what I'm going to do is you'll see the highlights come up on the spikes here and then go back down into this dipped area, and then they're going to be brought forth up here and then on there to kind of go with the dips of the dragon.
That looks really cool.
So, yeah, it's coming along. It'll go by so much quicker once I'm done with all of these spikes. And I'm going to be so happy. Never again am I going to paint spikes like this. I'm just going to, next time it's all one color and we're dry brushing one swipe and then we're done.
That's fair. So are you going to do anything on the tail?
Yes. So I have a bit of the color blocked in there. You can see where I want those highlights to be really a lot more bold, but it's going to basically be the same gradient that I have been doing on all of the spikes. Just because they are a different shape, the highlights will hopefully complement that shape more. So it'll still have a gemstone effect, just an appropriate one for the shapes that are going to be on those spikes. But they're so much bigger, and they're not as they're flatter. They're not cone shaped.
Right.
I shouldn't have as much trouble with keeping the paint where it's supposed to be, like I have had with all the close together spikes. So I'm hoping that just kind of flies by a lot quicker. And then the tiny little scales, I've just been dry brushing. Those I haven't been doing too much because I want the focus to be along the ridge of that back.
Nice.
So we'll see. Hopefully it all looks cool at the end.
Some key says that paint job on the dragon makes me green with envy.
You really need a drum rim shot sound effect there.
We talked about that last week. I need a soundboard. That is very true. So I almost forgot. We have some this week. We have a giveaway. Drum roll, please. Very excited. Jeff contacted me right before the show, and this is something. Do you want to talk a little bit about the giveaway?
So we decided to design a shirt at Games and Stuff called Retcon for Let's Try Again next year, since all our favorite cons got canceled this year. You know, no travel to Origins or Gen Con or PAX or any of those things. So we had a great artist, Joanna Barnum, design that cool piece of locked door with the dragon guarding it, you know, holding space for next year. And on the back, you'll see that it has all the dates of all the big shows from Adepticon all the way to Essen Games show in October, and how they've all been canceled. So we just thought it'd be a fun little shirt. We weren't thrilled by some of the online shirts that were out there for Gen Con and things. So we were like, let's make our own. So we're doing that shirt, and we have that available at Games and Stuff. You can pick it up in shop or give us a call or email, and we can send one out to you if you don't live locally. But today we're going to give one away, and I believe we have pretty much all sizes available, probably up to about 3X or so. Probably I might have a few 4Xs left. But yeah, so however you want to do the shirt, there you go, giveaway.
Yep, for the shirt giveaway, go ahead and put hashtag retcon to enter, and then in the comments and right after the show, I will get your information, pick the winner and get your information and get that sent off to you.
Yeah, and we'll be happy. We'll mail that out to you from the shop. And yeah, if you think it's cool and want to pick up one for a family, friend, or someone, just reach out to us and we'll be happy to help you out.
And that's at gamesandstuff.com.
Correct.
Right?
Yep. Gamesandstuff.com. Can't order online, or we're still debating if we're going to do a full online store or not. Just, you know, we were never an online shop. We want to be an in-person shop.
Yeah.
But obviously the times are a changing. But you can definitely reach out to us through there, through our email and things, or Facebook, and we will get in contact with you and get you the information you need.
Cool.
The shirts are $24.99. Some of the larger sizes are $29.99.
Okay.
something like that. So, but yeah, we would happy to, if you're interested in one that you don't win, let us know.
Definitely. I really like that shirt. I think it's really funny.
It's cheeky. I like it.
Exactly.
We've been doing an artist series shirt for the past year or so. We did one with 𝙂𝙖𝙢𝙞𝙣𝙜, who is a well-known board game and RPG artist. And then Paige Pumphrey, we did one, and we have this one. And then we have a super secret, awesome one coming in the fall from a very, very, very well-known artist, and we'll be unveiling that soon. So,
oh, that's awesome.
Yes. This year was supposed to be Games and Stuff's 20th anniversary. I mean, it is, but we obviously didn't get to celebrate like we wanted to. We had hoped to, have a great big event with lots of guests and things to celebrate 20 years at the shop. But as with anything, that'll be happening next year.
Yeah, that makes sense. Chris says that's a great shirt. The shirt looks great. I agree. Also, hello to 𝙬𝙬𝙀𝙬𝙀𝙬. Thank you for joining us over on YouTube. And for those of you who are watching, let us know what you guys have been painting this week. We would love to know your different hobbies that you've been getting into, as Dave would say, getting stuck in. And yeah, type in the chat. We would love to know. Also, if you have any mini painting questions, feel free to ask. As I said, Jeff has been painting for many years. And so many moons, and so he has some expertise to bring to the table. But you
had asked about storage, right? Some storing things. You want to jump into some of that?
Yeah, sure. In our group, Painting Happ Lil Minis, we had some people asking, at least two, what people use to store their mini paints, and also like what you can find at your local game store.
One thing I use, I'm going to pull back. You can see these crazy paint tiers. They can be built in different sizes. They hold all kinds of paints from large bottles, like I have some of these airbrush Minotaur, through P3 Citadel. We carry those at Games and Stuff, and then the company that makes it, Paint Tier Enterprises, sells extension kits to make them bigger and things, and I have a few of those that I bought directly. I love these things. I've had them for probably 15 to 20 years in different sizes, and I'm always adding more as I buy ridiculous amounts of new paint. So you can see that's one option. The great, so they spin. They're like all in Lazy Susan kind of things. You can always find the paint you're looking for. And then obviously another option is foam. Companies like Battle Foam and things sell different cutouts. If you're taking your paints on the go, maybe to a friend's house or somewhere to paint, that's another great option. I mean, all the way down to some people like just, Sterlite, Rubbermaid kind of tubs, that have the good latches and things. You can put them all in there, find the right size and depth that holds your paints. If it's something you need to keep out of the way.
I know someone had mentioned, oh, sorry, Gretchen.
That I'm guilty of having a tub or a box around
someone had mentioned on the group to get like even nail polish holders where they'll have like little shelves, and then you have multiple.
Those are usually good for like Vallejo style paints, because they're, again, this camera goes back, like skinnier, and they fit right in because they're similar to a nail polish size bottle or whatever. They may not work for some of the wider bottles, but yeah, you can definitely find some of those. So definitely keep that in mind. And laser cut stuff too. Chris Layfield just mentioned. Yeah, lots of different laser cut options out there. You can build little trays and stands and tiered things and different things like that. Companies like Vallejo make them. I think Ironheart Artisans has stuff. There's lots of companies out there that make really cool little laser cut things. You just have to glue together, and you can store all your paints in.
In our studio, we have the Vallejo ones, and they work very nice. We have one that's big, and then the one that's like a smaller size. And obviously, they fit the Vallejo paints very well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Some of them will have the holes cut right in them. You can just drop the bottles in.
And they also have a place for brushes, too, which is good because sometimes I forget to stick your brushes up.
Yeah, I have a little like brush thing next to my light, that I just got at a craft store that just holds lots of brushes. That's something you can find at like a Michael's or whatever.
Yeah, various different ways.
Yeah.
which is
I like
always
to
good.
say it's always about where you're taking it. If you have a dedicated paint area like I'm lucky enough to have, that's great. If you have to take your paints on the go a lot, then sometimes a case or, foam and different things are better because you're transporting them, around different places. Or if you break your paint area down a lot, if you paint maybe on the kitchen table or something and you need to pack it up every night, that's an easy way to do it.
I know Dave just was part of a Kickstarter by Studio X that it was like a on the go.
Yeah, the little mini station, mini painter like station. Yeah, we backed that through the shop as well, so we'll be getting those in. But they look really nice, and they have everything from your brush to built-in wet palettes and places to carry your paint and minis, and yeah, that'll be a nice little piece when it comes out.
Super excited to see that in the flesh.
I think that'll be nice. You know what? Whether it's minis or like painting, like on paper or anything, I have just always had like a box or a little suitcase or a little baggie. I'm a mess, but it's fine. It works for me. It's good.
At least for me, I kind of like setting it up and then like pulling out the paints each time, as opposed to having them all set up for me. It's like I don't know, it's kind of therapeutic. You like set out each paint pot. Maybe it's really annoying, but Roger said he is not going to get his last mini done in 1 week, which is the timeline that I gave him last week. That's okay. But tomorrow, though, he will meet Dave's timeline, which is very good. Keith Compton has been painting Elder Scrolls Call to Arms, the Imperial faction. Awesome. And then Graham Sargent is painting up some concrete jersey barrier for the Walking Dead game. Just weathering them up a bit. Any tips on weathering concrete?
Weathering concrete.
Dave is our weathering guy.
Yeah, I don't do a ton of weathering. My stuff tends to look newer and fresh than beat up, but I'm going to experiment with more weathering. I'm about to do a huge batch of buildings for my Star Wars game. I'm going to do an entire city's worth of buildings. And I want to make that to have more stuff, maybe some graffiti and rain drips and different weathering things. And I know Vallejo sells a whole line of really great weathering products, from powders to washes and things. And those are good ways to do it.
Yeah, I think with concrete, most of what I notice with weathered concrete is bits of the elements coming through. So having cracks, having discoloration on the lines in it, having breaks in the concrete, having maybe a little bit of plant life in your basing popping through is going to give a lot more of a element of time having passed.
Yeah, especially if there's a built-in crack or something sculpted into it, maybe put a little bit of flock or static grass coming out of it to look like it, some weeds have grown up through, things like that.
Yeah, I was thinking, I have found some concrete in my backyard, and it's all, you see all the stones and stuff underneath. It's not smooth. So,
yeah, as it breaks apart, you can see what the substructure, what it's all made of, kind of thing.
If you're somehow able to replicate that a little, as Gretchen said, that will give a weathered look, as opposed to rust, which is much more just painting on.
Right.
I think concrete might require you to use a little bit of texture.
And I mean, concrete, the way it weathers in itself, other than maybe getting darker with time, is more how things have beaten down on it, because it is made of rocks and whatnot. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, sorry. I was looking at the chat. Chris said rubble around the bottom and some pigment powders work wonders.
Yeah, definitely the Vallejo and other companies make the pigment powders, and because then you get that chalky dust look of as things are breaking apart. And
Now, I'm a bit of a noob. What is a pigment powder? Is that something you can mix into a paint or much more like a texture?
It's more like a texture. You want to add it, like you want to brush it on, and then they have like different pigment fixative kind of things. So then it adds, like, I've used some rust powders before on some armor and things, and it just gives that look of, they usually come in all those different colors, like a rust color or like a green, like verdigris, or a dirty, dingy kind of color. And you can get that, black to make it look like soot, just anything that would be piling up on it.
Gotcha. That's really cool that they sell those auto for you to get. Don't have to make them yourself.
You're right. Yeah, I'm not sure where I'd start making them. Just like,
pastels. At least people who repaint dolls and figures, typically when they need something that is powdered, blush inks or whatnot, they usually use either pastels or crushed colored pencils or something, and then they seal it.
Oh, okay.
So any kind of crushed powdery pigment, I just wouldn't know where to begin with sealing it or how to, like I imagine hairspray. Hairspray is what I use for charcoal. Like I don't know how that would translate to minis.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm not sure if it would stay. I mean, it shouldn't stay sticky, I guess, depending on what you're using. But I know they definitely sell like a pigment powder, like fixative, that kind of you put on, and it like dries the pigments onto the model.
Oh, Graham says, cool. Slapping on pigment powder just as we speak. Very nice. Make sure to put a picture of that in the group once you are finished. Also, in terms of storage, Chris had noted acrylic nail polish racks are cheap on Amazon and will hold Citadel and dropper bottles. But they love the Lazy Susan racks, though, that you have, Jeff.
They're just really useful because then you're spinning, and a lot of storage requires a bottle to be like in something, so you may not see the color, or you have to put a dot on the lid or upside down. Mm-hmm. This way you can see the whole thing, and group them how you like. Maybe put all your blues together, or your greens, and
right. Which is super nice. Oh, Sumkey says any weathering effects I could do would just end up being hot air. Ha ha ha.
Hairspray works in a pinch. Hairspray is great for a lot of random things other than hair. It works as a great setting spray for anything I've noticed.
We also have Chris said there are pigment lines available from Secret Weapon, MIG, and Vallejo.
Yes. Good, all good choices.
Which is very nice. Today I am working on the Huntress from Sanctum. She is holding a bow and also has lots of fur pieces on her. So we shall see. I finished up the Water Dancer from that series.
How did that go?
I thought it went pretty well.
What are those models?
These are board game models from the board game Sanctum.
Okay. And
Sanctum is by Check Games. It came out, I think, about a year ago. And it's like sort of a dungeon crawl based game. So you pick one of these heroes. I believe there are 4 of them. And then you can kind of make your way through and beat the bad guy.
It's a nice feel of doing an RPG if you want something a little bit quicker and easier. Maybe you have a group together that's not going to be able to actually commit to a campaign, but you want to do something kind of that flavor.
Right.
Yeah, it definitely has that campaign feel.
You still get to go against the big bad and have a good time with it.
And you have to sort of upgrade your weapons while you do it. It honestly feels it has a little bit also of a video game feel.
Yeah, that's another good way to describe it.
Because you're constantly having to like upgrade your weapons, use your weapons, but then replenish them when you're fighting and attacking. And I believe it is cooperative, so.
I think it is. I want to say it is. I think I remember it being cooperative.
Yeah. Which is very nice. The reason I have them is because we painted Sanctum minis for Gen Con Online. I don't know if you were part of Gen Con Online at all, Jeff.
I watched some videos and things from it, but that was pretty much as far as I got. Checking out the new releases and things.
That's fair.
One day I'll be afraid of this dragon's spine. I'm about like halfway there. I'll probably be able to finish the next big chunk of back spines, more or less, by the time this is done. And then I'll be free. Dobby will be a free elf. I'm committed now. I'm committed to the aesthetic of completing this in the way I envisioned.
Also, for those of you who just joined, be sure to type in #retcon. We are doing a t-shirt giveaway. Thanks to Jeff Hall and the folks over at Games and Stuff. If you'd like to enter to win, be sure to put #retcon in the chat, and then I will pick the winner right after the show. We'll get that sent out to you. If you don't end up winning, you can actually get the t-shirt from Games and Stuff. Do you have a picture or anything on your website?
We did. I have to double check if it's still up. It's in the news section. I think there's an article that talks about the shirt and
okay, cool.
And double check there.
I'll be sure to post that in the group after the show. I just want to make sure there is a picture.
Yeah, there was. I noticed when I was looking right before the show, I think it's the back showing, because I think when I changed one of the settings, I accidentally deleted the front. So I'll have to re-add that to the site.
Okay.
But I'll make sure I do that this afternoon.
Awesome. Also, Byron says you could highlight your lightsaber with Cheeto dust. You know, if you're into food and painting.
Right. And then suddenly you have ants all over your guy.
Yeah. I don't think that's a good idea. No.
Fun fact, unrelated to anything. Cheeto dust. Their Cheetos are coming out with macaroni.
I saw you post that.
I know, because I'm secretly a little gremlin, and I love hot Cheetos so much. And we keep macaroni in the house all the time because that's just what my boyfriend lives off of. So now I was like, yes, I can have my own macaroni. It won't get eaten.
Speaking of strange foods, I saw that Brock's, the candy company, was doing an entire Thanksgiving dinner candy corn that has like turkey flavored and cranberries and different things. And I have to buy it if I see it, because I just have to know what that tastes like.
Oh my goodness.
I do not like the idea of that as a flavor, as a thing, but I appreciate the fact that you are willing to venture that for me. I will stay tuned.
I wouldn't say I'm a huge candy corn fan to begin with, but there's just something about that's weird enough that I feel that it has to be tried.
Are they making it flavored, or is it just candy corn flavored?
No, it says it's flavored as a turkey dinner, like an entire Thanksgiving dinner.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's not just like the figures look like a turkey dinner.
I would try it if someone else bought it.
Yeah. That's pretty incredible.
No, I take that back. I would prank my friends with it, and then I would try it afterwards. But I have my goblin brain going.
For those of you in the chat, would you or would you not eat a turkey dinner? Candy corn.
I like candy corn, not as like a not in abundance, but I think more as like nostalgia. Like it just hits the nostalgia receptors in my brain. So a little bit of candy corn, I really like, but I do not. I can't just like go through a bag.
That's fair.
So flavors include green beans, roasted turkey, cranberry sauce, ginger glazed carrot, sweet potato pie, and stuffing.
Sweet potato pie could be good.
Evidently, it is a Walgreens exclusive. So if you want to find it, you have to go to Walgreens.
That's nearby. I don't know how I feel about it.
I know, like green beans, really?
That is incredible. I am 100% buying this.
We should, if we're back in the studio by October, we could have a taste testing with Dave. We have Graham is asking, what is candy corn?
Yes, I did see that because Graham is in the UK, so.
They probably have it in the UK, maybe under a different name. It's like a sugar. It basically just tastes like sugar. It's a sugar candy that is in the shape of corn.
Well, corn's a stretch. It's in the shape of a triangle. Like,
have you seen the pictures of them lined up to look like corn?
So this is what candy corn looks like.
Right. I mean, I guess if you thought you could take an entire kernel out of the corn, it's close.
There it is. There's the picture that makes it look like corn.
I agree, though, with Jeff. It does not look like corn because corn does not have orange.
Wild corn, like older corn, but to me, it tastes like soft sugar.
And it is, I think, straight sugar. I don't think there's anything.
They're not chewy. They're not hard. They're not texturally anything. It's literally kind of like fondant in the shape of a triangle.
And it's very polarizing. People either like candy corn or they're like, get that stuff straight to the garbage.
That is so true.
Candy corn is what the cheap people pass out at Halloween, and people get mad. That's if you pass out candy corn, you're gonna get your house egged.
And let's hope that if you do pass out candy corn, it's at least in some sort of baggie and not just loose.
Now, my mom would not let me take stuff from some. We had Halloween in my not the Louisiana neighborhood, but the neighborhood in Maryland was really interesting because we had two really weird neighbors. One of them we'd never see ever. And what they would do is they would slip a baggie of Halloween candy through the mail slot.
What? Into your house? Or no? You would go up to the door?
And they would just slip it, and it was always something homemade, and my mom's like, you can take it, but you can't eat it. So it was just like weird, but we never saw the dude. He was just like, take your cookies. And then afterwards, once most of the children were done trick-or-treating, we don't know which neighbor, but one of the neighbors would slowly walk the neighborhood dressed as Michael Myers with a knife. Like quietly walk.
That's how to scar children for a long time.
Santa comes on the fire trucks around Christmas. Michael Myers comes on.
No reason. This guy is like,
but it was something that just. I mean, I don't think anyone else ever does that, but someone in my neighborhood did. They were just like, let me, around 10 o'clock at night. So after the trick-or-treating, like when maybe you have a few straggling teenagers who just need to like get done, just walk the neighborhood.
That's crazy. Oh, Byron said he wanted to try the Thanksgiving candy corn, which is good. Graham said apparently the closest thing I think we have is candy made to look like a full English breakfast. That's so funny.
Complete with like the bacon, the slice of ham, and the baked beans, and the soggy tomato. My one trip to England, I was at the airport and got the full English breakfast, and I was just like, what am I eating? This is very odd.
Yeah, especially I think in the US, we like, I guess especially on the East Coast, like we do big breakfast, big breakfast. Like, so the English breakfast like this doesn't feel the same. I don't know. It's a little. We're like, where are our pancakes, waffles, bacon, sausage, eggs, muffins, cornbread? Like, you can basically have anything for breakfast.
It never includes baked beans. Never ever includes baked beans.
Yeah, we don't.
No baked beans.
No.
I don't typically do breakfast very much. If I don't like eating early in the morning, but like a brunch. Once my tummy and myself have time to wake up.
You're ready?
I can put away a brunch. I'm about that life. I don't care how basic it sounds. Give me all the brunch.
I love like a good breakfast buffet. Like that's one of my all-time favorite things, where you can just have so many things to choose from.
Yeah, I agree. Breakfast buffet. People who are watching, put in the chat what's your favorite breakfast buffet food? Because I want to know. I love talking about breakfast.
You're just still hungry from us playing the blank slate.
Yeah, we played Blank Slate on Tuesday, which is, for those of you who might not know, that's like a big party game, and you have to sort of fill in a phrase with different words, and I kept doing food-oriented words. Actually, we had a whole round that was food-oriented, which was kind of funny, so... I just love food so much. Are there any miniatures that have food on them?
I feel like you can.
Probably more in terrain things, like you can.
Okay.
I think the new WizKids Castle People set that comes out next week actually has an entire kitchen staff that has like turkeys and little food.
You know what we should do? Leona, you know what we should do? You know what we should do? So you know how I love cooking and you love food and we all love minis and everything right now is cake. Make a dungeon out of cake.
A miniature dungeon. I agree.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
that makes me so happy that there's a WizKids one. I am going to get that.
How did the whole everything out of cake thing get started anyway?
It started from really realistic cakes being something people would do to flaunt their skills. And then I think some of the videos just picked up in popularity, and then everyone who had those abilities started showing off more and more and more. And honestly, it is really impressive.
Oh, it's fantastic. Like, I've seen some great things, and you're like, wow. Because I always felt that the cake shows on, like, Food Network weren't that great. Like, they never made really cool cakes. Like, but there's people that can make really awesome cakes, but yet they give, like, you know, I know he's a Baltimore guy, but Duff's cakes were terrible. Like, half the time they were made out of, like, wood and styrofoam and other things. They weren't cake. Like, they just put a sheet cake and built the frame.
I don't know because I like baking, but I get really judgmental when I watch the show. So, like, not for, like, nailed it. For, like, nailed it, I'm like, these are amateurs. But, like, the spirit of Gordon Ramsay just, like, overtakes me. And I do not like when people overuse fondant.
Right.
It's good. So when I see all of this hyper-real cakes and they have like a heavy use of fondant to where you can't even really eat the cake anymore, then I think it gets rid of the point.
Right, because so many of the cakes were just like, here's this really elaborate thing that we, like you said, we use dowel rods and foam and all these things, and then we'll give you a sheet cake on the side that you can eat. And it's kind of like, well, that's kind of lame.
The thing, which, by the way, Thomas Roach says, don't forget the Necronomicon for...
Right. There's also a D&D cookbook coming out in October. from Wizards. Yep.
You just
That is
need
awesome.
all the tasty things. I got a Hobbit cookbook for my birthday, and I'm so excited to like make something for that for the first time. I got to taste some of the things for it because everyone made a recipe from it.
If there are any more, if people know of more minis, because Chris says Reaper has a great barmaid with 6 mugs of beer.
Right. Yep.
And then that's what Sumkey said. I've seen beer barrels, minis. If people know of minis that have food in them, put them in the chat because you might see them in the future.
We're just gonna have like a crazy food episode of Painting Happy Little Minis, and we're gonna be like Dave, because Dave's not here right now. He's off the grid. We can be in cahoots. We're gonna be like Dave, find out what's a mini and what is cake.
Yes.
And he'll have to go around. He likes paint. It's fine.
Leona, I'm emailing you a picture of the people with the food.
Oh, awesome.
All right, I just sent it. Shows all the town, all the people, and then it shows the little kitchen staff. There's like a pig on the platter, and there's some pies, it looks like, and other.
Yay, I'm excited. Here we go. Sorry, folks.
Someone asked in the chat about a Bugman's Dwarf. Yeah, there's a Warhammer World exclusive one that he's also passed out around some barrels of beer and has the beer mugs, I think, next to him.
And apparently Mantic Terrain Crate.
Mantic Terrain Crate does have foodstuffs. Yep, there's lots of foodstuffs there.
Aha!
There's all kinds of little kitchen apparatus down there. Some plates. It looks like a pie. Some other things. A pot with something in it.
A pig. A roast pig.
Mm-hmm.
Whole roast pig.
Nice. No, that's excellent. Yeah, this looks like a great set.
And there's two different like castle peoples. One is like the king and the queen and that stuff, and then another one is more like castle staff. And I think that one has like brooms and little like cleaning stuff things, and yeah, they're really cool.
Sumkey says, I found a website that sells dollhouse food. Probably could be added to some minis.
Yeah, that would work if you get the right scale.
That is a good point. I feel as though you're correct, Jeff. Sometimes the dollhouse, it's a bit big for miniatures. You know, you have a whole apple and it's like the size of your miniatures.
Right.
Face, torso, and you're like, eat the apple. Also, hello to Hulk Reality. Thanks for joining us. Oh, I hope it's a whole roast pig. You don't want to eat half-cooked meat. It's good. We like it. Also, so would you guys be interested in looking at some miniatures from the Painting Happ Lil Minis group?
Yeah.
All right, let's do that. So for those of you watching, we have a Painting Happy Lil Minis group on Facebook. If you're not part of that, please go ahead and join. All you have to click is add me, accept the rules that we have, and post your miniatures. When you do that, I then collect them on Wednesday and we talk about them on the show. Things that we like or things that we think are interesting about them. So here we go. Let's go look at some of them. First up, we have, oops, I think I'm zoomed in. Oh, no, I'm not. Ashen Leaf Paintworks, and they did a Blood Angels Chief Librarian, which is very nice.
Nice snow work on the base too. Got some frosted work there.
That looks really nice.
It looks like this might be a gem almost. Painted almost like a gem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Blood Angels icon kind of has a gemstone in the middle of it, and that looks very cool.
That is awesome. Really loving this. Now, is this a new miniature or is there a different librarian that
That is the newest version of that model.
Okay.
Came out a couple months ago, but there used to be one way back in the day. But obviously, that's the newest, greatest, heavily super detailed one.
Nice. Awesome. Next, we have Ben Fail. He painted up some, oh boy, Artrematar for my Warhammer 30,000 project. Atarmatan. Say the name, Jeff. You probably can.
I'm not. Yeah, some of the 30K names are strange. Like some obviously Chaos Terminators. Looks like maybe are they Night Lords? Or do I see lightning bolts on them? Yeah, looks like.
Yeah. Put a spelling. I mean, yeah. Put a pronunciation in the chat if you know how to pronounce that. Thank you. Good color. Are these husks down here?
The Chaos Terminator heads have like big tusks kind of coming out of their helmets.
Gotcha. Looking good. Nice. Some clean lines we got going there. And then actually, I just noticed as I zoomed out, there's a really nice piece of terrain in the background of this photo, which is great.
We are distracted by the really nice mini.
And then we have Chris Hood, Marco the Justicar from Excellent Miniatures. Oh yeah, DeWild said some really awesome stuff posted lately, and I agree with that. We got some really great minis. So it looks like Chris even has a little bit of light reflecting OSL.
Oh yeah, from the flames, very nice.
Looking good. I like the purple. It really contrasts that orangey color.
Purple and orange are always really nice together. And that's such a nice purple too. It's very having the shadows be kind of more of that reddish purple. If you look at the there and on the back of it especially.
Mm-hmm.
I think it brings in the orange without overpowering it. Kind of makes it look very cohesive.
Yeah, it's interesting. He also used a cooler tone to be the highlight here.
It really makes the contrast pop.
Yeah, the purple's a good offset to all the orange and the flame.
We like. Good job, Chris. We have David with more work on his battle suit. I'm not gonna try and
maybe. It's a nice Tau battle suit.
Yeah. Another purple themed. We love. Good work on the base too, with that texture. Do you think he would be painting that, or is that texture from like a pot, maybe?
It could just be glue and sand, and then painted over and dry brush, or some of the texture medium or something.
I think it'd be easier to do a texture medium or something that fine.
Now, is a texture medium kind of like a pigment powder, where it's like a specifically made?
It's basically paint and sand mixed together for the most part. So it's like a paste. You're gonna just kind of smear it on, and it'll dry and have like ridges and things to it.
We have Stephen Mcdonald with his newly fixed black coach. I really liked this one.
Yeah, that's really cool.
This is really great. This is the Night Haunt.
Mm-hmm. And that model has such great movement of the spectral horses kind of flying into the air. So having it looks like he has it even raised up further on kind of like a ramp, almost a ramp, like taking off into the air. It was really cool.
Yeah, I love this. I love the Night Haunts in general. Like if I were ever to get into having, because that's Age of Sigmar, right?
Mm-hmm.
A horde, it would be Night Haunt, because I just love all the models. Yeah, and from different angles, this looks really great. I would definitely recommend checking this out on our page if you haven't, because Stephen kind of takes different angles from it, and you can see the depth of the height a little bit more, which is really cool. Again, we also have another purple and green here.
Good job.
Now, does this come? Is this bottom piece part of the set? Do you know?
It would come just kind of a flat black base, so you would have to texture and build up yourself. So it looks like he's made some rocks and probably used some putty and things to make a mound. And
that's really cool.
Yeah, it's very nice.
I did not realize that. Awesome job. We have Jody with this guy. She painted for a bud today.
Yeah, that's the WizKids Kraken model. Very nice.
We have this in our studio, and it comes pre-painted.
There's two versions. There's the pre-painted, and then they released an unpainted one in the Nulzers line.
Gotcha. I didn't realize that. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, she did a great job. I'm really enjoying these tentacles by the face with the varied, almost ombre coloration.
Mm-hmm.
Which is cool. The original paint job is a little bit more brown, so it's cool to see this as more of a gray.
Like a gray blue. It's very aquatic.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Looking good. We have Chris Gorka with my Draugr finished. And I looked that up, and it's from Elder Scrolls. Or at least that's what he had said.
It's from the new Elder Scrolls game. So if people who played Skyrim, there's now a miniature game to go with it.
That's by Modiphius, right?
Yes.
Yeah. We had actually talked to people from Modiphius who worked on that game almost a month ago. If you're interested, check out that interview on our YouTube page. We go into more depth of the miniatures and stuff like that. So Chris did a really great job here. And it was interesting. He said he added these things to the base. Little details.
Very nice.
I like the glowy eyes.
The eyes. Yeah, I believe they're like the Undead faction.
He's definitely not alive.
Yeah, not with that look.
Mm-hmm.
Not like living.
We have Robert with a 3D printed terrain piece for Fallout Wasteland Warfare. Robert has been working on Fallout Wasteland for a while now.
I like hanging out in the corner.
A little Bob Ross Lego guy.
For scale.
It just makes me think of Bob Ross like hanging out in the wastelands.
I feel like Bob Ross would be a great addition to the Fallout world. Yeah, no, this is great. I think Robert did a really great job with cleaning up some of the lines for the 3D print. Like especially on the arm and the face area. I feel like that would be a place you would see some of the print lines, and he's done a really nice job sanding that down.
I think texturally too, the difference in the kind of stone texture of the Lady Liberty versus the like the tin roofs and stuff with the houses around it. Small detail, but I think it really makes everything pop out.
Yeah, it's interesting. Here he has the you can actually see, I don't know if it was in the model or if he did that himself, but he actually cut into some of the Lady Liberty statue to give that worn look. I know it's not concrete, but Graham was asking about, weathering.
Yeah, Statue of Liberty is actually made out of copper.
Yeah. So obviously it's not concrete. But just one example.
She's naturally patinaed.
Just one example you can use to come up with some texturing ideas. We have Joshua with a Darth Raven bust for his buddy.
That's fun. I like the little bits of purple that go up. It's light reflection because you can see it on the fabric. And the orange. And then it goes down onto the actual base of the bust.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this character. Jeff, are you?
Yeah, he's from like the Old Republic stuff, the video game, like Knights of the Old Republic and things, the video games. So he's set like thousands of years before the Clone Wars and everything. Kind of a he was a Jedi, obviously. Then he turned, and then he redeemed himself. He's been in a bunch of like novels and other things.
Gotcha. So that's kind of why he has these two colors.
Yeah, he has a purple and a red lightsaber. He fights with two lightsabers, and
that's
yeah,
cool.
he's an interesting character.
That's pretty cool. I like that. Joshua, good job. We have Kim Larson with Britannia Grail Relicae.
Yeah, that is a very old model from the Bretonian line. Very nice. It's,
This
people carrying
right?
like the dead, Grail Knight. And very cool.
What line is that from?
It's from the now gone Bretonian line from Warhammer from back in the day.
Gotcha.
Which was very much the Knights of the Round Table kind of race, armor or army.
There's a little fox here.
No.
But that line has now since.
Right. That was one of the few that didn't make it to Age of Sigmar. I think it was a little too mainstream, a little too, just knights and peasants, and they've kind of gone way more high fantasy.
Yeah, that's fair. We also have Junebug Minis with the Catalyst Game Labs Battletech.
Cool.
And it's always fun. Junebug always writes up like a good description of her characters. So if you're interested, look on our page to check out more. She's a good write-up. Different from what she normally does. This is a robot battle tech type thing. And I think it looks good.
Yeah, very nice. Nice mech.
I'm enjoying the light source right here. And I guess on the back too. Mm-hmm. Gives it that little pop of color. Which is always good.
Nice focus.
And contrast from the white.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. It doesn't really compete that much with the white.
It's a desaturated orange for sure. But because all of the other colors are so neutral, you can still get that glowy effect.
Then we have Elizabeth Dillian Christensen. She spent about 3 hours working on this scarecrow tonight.
Oh, cool. From the Batman.
I think, I just like how he's like, nah! I don't often see the scarecrow, in minis like that. And I feel like it's a very, powerful, ready for a butt whooping kind of sculpt.
Yeah, and you have, the fear gas circling all around him, he's just really about to unleash it onto people.
What is this miniature from, Jeff?
I think it's from the Monolith Batman board game. I don't think it was the Batman miniature game, but they've done a lot of new versions of some of those models, so I'm not 100% sure.
Gotcha. I thought Dark Knight. No, I'm not going to remember the name of the company. Anyway, there was a company that recently came out with Batman minis, so I wasn't sure if they did it.
Yeah, there's the Knight models that does the miniature game.
Yeah.
And then Monolith does a Batman board game that's very minis heavy as well, and they have some interesting different sculpts.
Yeah, I really like this one. I'm all about also the Halloween vibes here. Mm-hmm. We have John with this weekend's work in progress, a female Elf Paladin. Right in the front here.
Yeah, and some ghouls about to attack said Paladin.
It's a little bit hard to see on this photo, but I believe that John did a little bit of highlighting on the armor here.
Is that a little bit of metal reflection right there?
Mm-hmm.
Picture.
Yeah, it looks good.
It does look like a metal reflection.
Which we are liking. Orion with I'm really happy with how these turned out. He had said that they took a little longer than usual.
So the new Blood Angel Primaris from the new 40K box set.
Awesome.
That's a very nice red. Very nice, dark, saturated red.
Do you think he was using an airbrush to get this sort of smoothness?
It does have a bit of a look to it, just the way some of the highlights are.
Mm-hmm. It looks great.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Also, I like the world that he set this in.
Oh, that's slimy.
The slime acid.
Oh, absolutely. And the pops on the base of the bubbles and things.
Yeah.
That is disgusting. In a really good way. In a very successful way.
Yeah, Byron says, I love the ooze on the base. How would you get a bubble like that?
It looks like a glaze, I think.
Yeah, typically with something like that, you have to put like a bead or something there and then kind of cover it over so it looks like it's a pop. Most people do that with like a little glass like bead from bracelet making or jewelry or something, and then then you just paint over it. That looks like it's probably like the Nurgle's Rot, like slimy, like technical paint over it.
Gotcha. We also have John Miller with his weekend hobby project. Just getting ready to paint all these guys.
Yeah, looks like some Space Marines and then Cthulhu and his cultists about to attack said Space Marine.
Fight. With the Pokemon battle of the century.
Yeah, Byron said a clear glass bead, as you had said. Yeah, no, that looks great. I'll be looking forward to seeing some of these Cthulhu in progress. We also have Mick Allen attempting non-metallic gold.
I think it's a very good attempt. I think the highlights on that are looking really good. You can still feel like it's a metal texture. It doesn't look like it's blending in with the cloak at all. Keep going. I would go stronger for the highlights. Like,
Oh, you think?
There. Oh yeah, I think you could do those pinpoint highlights even further, and that contrast will up it even more. Always more contrast with metal.
Gotcha.
The contrast with metal, the shinier it will look.
I don't recognize that model either. That's interesting.
Yeah, he didn't say what the model was, just that he was working on non-metallic gold. I guess because you're right, Gretchen. If for example, like on the helm or right on the belt, if it was popping a little bit more, it would make it look like superhero, like gleaming.
Well, I mean, it already looks like metal, yeah, but the more contrast, the shinier, yeah. So I think for it being I assume a
first attempt, yeah,
like that's excellent. That's very good.
Or even if not your first attempt, it's still a great.
And you're accomplishing.
As someone who tried to do non-metallic metal on dear Brienne of Tarth, kudos to you, because I did not enjoy that. My attempt was abandoned.
It's so hard to do any kind of stuff like that.
It's all good.
Give me the 10-10.
Yeah, just
I agree. They make metallic paint for a reason.
Yeah, just give me the metallic paint in my set. It's fine. Next up we have Mike Becker with finished these for his son.
I saw those in the group the other day. They were very cool. I like the blend of the baby blue and the whitish gray helmets and things. Very nice.
Are these for Corvus Belly?
No, that's 40K.
Oh, it is.
Those are Eldar. Yeah, we're Eldar Guardians.
Gotcha.
Look at his face in the background. The only one without a helmet.
Zoom in.
Yeah. Like, I like how you can see the highlight on the eyebrow ridge, and you can see right under the lip, under the nose. Like, whatever he's used to paint the face, it was done thin enough and nice enough to be able to pick up the light very well and keep all of those angry things.
Yeah, it's a very nice job.
Yeah, I agree. The features, as you said, like he did a good job to get the features, so it's very
eyebrow.
It's very
eyebrow is important.
Readable from far away. Now, are these normally colored like black and purple?
They're the generic troopers for the Eldar army, so they can really be anything depending on the Eldar have the craft worlds. Like each army's different, so sometimes you see them red, sometimes they're yellow, green. You know, that's just like Space Marines. They can be pretty much any color.
Okay, gotcha. This one was just so unique that that's why I thought it was for a different game. Because I've mostly only seen them in a dark color. We also have Graham. With this week, I've been playing around with rust, damage, and chipping medium.
A great truck. Yeah, looks really good.
Yeah, and apparently now Graham is working on concrete, you know, chipping. Right. Yeah, I like the different levels of color that Graham's used here. So there's the tan, sort of the red, and I feel like maybe even in here there's some purple almost.
Yeah, there's some really good colors there. You know, you feel that is a well-worn, abandoned truck.
This is a truck that's been sitting... Yeah, this truck has been sitting on a farm for a while.
It looks like one of the first trucks I ever had to drive.
And then I even like the extra sort of white spot on the window. Fog almost. I guess it's almost like a worn glass look.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a really, really good job of weathering that. That's perfect for Walking Dead stuff.
Yeah, this looks great. Oh, also, Thomas says, theme of the day, find the purple. It does feel like that a little bit, right? Yeah, and I agree, Byron, that truck could be for Gaslands, potentially. Graham, let us know what it is. Oh, also, John Wayne Everett says, nice job, guys. Mike Evans with a Reaper Obsidian Crypt. I believe Dave painted this a while back. And it's interesting because his color had more purple in it, speaking of purple. But
it's the theme.
It's the theme. I like what Mike has been doing here with the really heavy copper on the top here. I believe Dave's was more metallic as opposed to copper.
It looks nice with the copper, though. I like copper or brass more with cooler tones like that.
Now, would this be for just any type of terrain, or is this made for a specific game? Do you know, Jeff?
That's pretty much just generic, for D&D or Warhammer or anything.
Gotcha. That would be a good one for D&D. Mike, let us know what you used that in. I'm interested. We also have Paul Wardle, Reaper. Oh no, this is wrong. Not Reaper Obsidian Crypt.
Oh no.
It's the Dungeons and Doggies, or Doggies and Dungeons by Steamforged. That's what this is.
Doggo! I really still want to get one and paint it to look like my dog.
Oh, I love this set. I love this. They also did one that was cats. I don't know. Are they still selling that, Jeff?
I think they're between printings because we sold out really fast and we haven't been able to get them back in.
Yeah.
But they're just doing more of this stuff. They just announced like encounter kits yesterday. They're going to do like a kobold lair with all kind of crazy kobolds and a red dragon kit and stuff. So yeah, Steamforge is definitely doing more RPG things.
That's awesome.
I want to get the cats. So I can do one of my older cat and one of my new cat, and I want to do one for my dog. I want so bad.
Yeah, I like when anyone paints them. They seem like a very quick paint, which is nice. And I think Paul has done a really good job here with the different colorations. And that is all the miniatures from our group.
Nice job, guys. Yeah, great stuff.
I agree with 𝙀𝙧𝙀𝙀, who posted earlier. We have some really great miniatures that are being posted. You just scroll through and you're like, oh, looks so nice. And so that all the miniatures that we just looked at are from our Facebook group, Painting Happ Lil Minis. Be sure to join, and also be sure to post your own miniatures into the group so everyone can see them. If you have any questions about mini painting or even terrain, feel free to ask them in the group or ask them now live. We can also answer some questions that you might have. But be sure to tune in during the rest of the week into the group, because people are constantly posting there and kind of sharing the love of the hobby, which has been nice, especially since you can't get out and go to your friendly local game store and paint. It's nice to see what people are doing in the group. So
yeah, I think our people who come that paint, well, we had a pretty dedicated group that painted all the time at our paint stations in the shop, and I know they're feeling it, not being able to hang out and chat and paint with people.
Yeah, I know. And it was kind of a bummer because my brother actually got into mini painting, and I wanted to meet him at your store. I wanted to show him your store and be like, let's go meet there and paint. And then the COVID hit. So we'll do that next year. I'm looking forward to it. Graham said that the truck is 28mm scale for The Walking Dead. So you are correct, Dave. I mean,
yeah,
Jeff.
very cool.
Sorry. Sorry, Jeff. You're
That's all right. I'll be Dave today. I don't have the Australian accent though.
You have to say crikey and So how is your progress on your beholder coming along?
All right, let's see if I can find the camera bit here. So there he's coming along. Yeah, can't feel a little washed out color-wise with the lighting here, but I just glazed him with a little bit of a gloss to kind of give him a more wet look. And but yeah, the skin's coming out decently. I'm happy with the browns and to a slightly orangish red highlights on him. So I'll try to get a good picture and post it afterwards when I'm not on a laptop webcam.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And were you using a variety of paints like Vallejo, Army Painter?
I was using some Citadel, some P3, and even some of these. I got a new brand of paint called Pro Acryl that comes from Monument Hobbies, and I was experimenting with some of them.
Oh, okay, cool.
And while things were drying, I also grabbed one of the WizKids clear shadow models, and I hit it with some green tints to just give it a green translucent look to it.
That is awesome.
Because normally it is a clear, completely clear model. Again, backwards. So I just I stained it basically green, so it has a cool spectral look to it. Yeah,
that looks great. Now, does that mini just is it holding anything? Like, does anything go in front of it, or is that just how it's
it's a stack of shadows, so you can paint them brown, or black, and then I really wanted mine to be a little more ghostly green.
Kind of like those night haunts.
Yeah, and they're just kind of rising up out of the ground. So the only thing in front of it's just a flat, patch of rock.
That's awesome.
And that's with a Tamiya clear. Tamiya makes a really cool clear line of paints that are really good for like staining, clear things, and it maintains that translucent look.
Do they have different colors or?
They do. They make green, blue, yellow, orange, red, and a smoke, like a black smoke color.
Awesome. Now, is that something that you guys have at games and stuff?
I'm not currently, but you can find it at a lot of other like train stores and things, hobby shops like that. So. Okay.
Cool. Good for staining.
Mm-hmm. You can do it with washes and things. It just doesn't stick as well. That particular line is very, very viscous. It's like a like a wood stain. It's like a really thick kind of color that goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Some key says the beauty can be in the eye of any beholder. Now, is that for an upcoming campaign or anything, Jeff?
So as I mentioned, I think last time I was on, I've been kind of Star Wars obsessed this year. I've been painting tons of Star Wars stuff all year.
That's fair.
And because I was about to start a Star Wars RPG game right before COVID hit. So after Star Wars, on my next D&D campaign, idea is already in the works too, which will be very Underdark focused.
Gotcha.
So I'm kind of, any other things I'm doing that aren't Star Wars, I'm focusing on things I can use for the Underdark and Underground, and I'll be doing all kind of matching dungeon terrain and things to go with that.
Very nice. That is awesome. And Gretchen, what progress have you been able to make?
So you can't tell, but maybe you can tell. If I turn it this way, you can see those spikes coming along. So they should, if I turn it, this is the direction. So they come up here, they go down there, they're all highlighted. And then down here, I am cleaning everything up. And then that highlight will continue in this little dip section. And then up on the tip of the tail here where it rises, we'll also have that highlight. And then I'll be free of the spines. And I can actually work on finishing up everything. So as soon as I can just build up that gradient where I want it to be, I'll be good to go.
Nice.
Hopefully, kind of. So
we do have one question from the chat. Jeff, how do you like the hobby holders? Have you tried any of the GW ones?
I do. I have some of the paint handles from GW. I was given some of these hobby holders to try out from NB Hobbies, I think they're called. I really like the ones that have the finger grip, like some place to put your other finger. So you have the, again, backward. So yeah, I like these kind with the place for your finger to hold. But the GW ones work really well too, because then you have a wider base, for holding bigger models. The nice thing about these ones, you just have to put a little bit of like double-sided tape or whatever, stick your model on, and it's basically like a bottle cap that kind of screws on there. So I think these are pretty cool too. There's a lot of different ones on the market right now. So find one that you like and go with it.
Yeah, I think in the studio we have the GW ones.
Mm-hmm. And I use those a lot too, because I have a bunch of those and they're a lot easier to obviously find. And you can put a whole army or a unit, in a couple different ones.
Not that Dave and Gretchen really use them at all. At some point halfway through the show, Kat will just comment and say, "What about the mini holder?"
I have one right here. I have it. It was gifted to me by my boyfriend.
Well used. Well used. Still in the box. There we go.
I can't use it with the dragon.
With the dragon.
Right. That's the thing, is sometimes you just have to find something that'll fit what you're working on.
So hopefully I get through this guy.
For those of you who might not know, we are also doing a t-shirt giveaway right now. You can enter #retcon to get to be entered into the giveaway, and I will pick the winner right after the show. I will show the t-shirt once more in case people want to see what it is, if I can find it, because I canceled out of it. I was like, I don't need to see this t-shirt anymore. Oh, how wrong I was.
It's all good.
Here we go. This is a t-shirt that you could win. Retcon 2020. Let's try again next year. This is a t-shirt that Games and Stuff created and it has in their store. If you're interested, head over to gamesandstuff.com and
And yeah, hit us up at info@gamesandstuffonline.com or grab our Facebook page and shoot us a message, and yeah, we can take care of you.
And get you that t-shirt. You'll be guaranteed the t-shirt.
Exactly. You don't have to wait to try to win it.
Oh, Kat says, so late, quick hi and bye. Had to go open the shop this morning. And Dave, you look so different today.
Exactly.
It's funny, Kat, I just said something about you always mentioning we don't use mini holders, which is so true. So if you're interested in winning this t-shirt, be sure to type in #retcon. I will look in the chat and pick the winner right after the show. So,
and if I can real quick, we're also doing WizKids has their next hobby paint night at home thing. It's a Manticore. It's a full-on paint kit that you get the Manticore, you get some paints, you get a brush, you get a little water pot in it. And they've been offering that, and we have we're doing the online class on Saturday. We have the Manticore in store, or you can stop and pick one up, and then at 1:00 on Saturday we'll be doing an online Facebook Live paint session with it, and you can follow along and learn some tips.
That's awesome. Very exciting. Oh yeah, Roger says we have not talked about Jeff's hair, Kat, which we always talk about Dave's hair. That's why he did that. That's a great kit. I saw that recently coming out from WizKids.
Yeah, and then in October they're doing a zombie ogre too. So it's really nice that they're making it as a whole kit that you have everything you need to do a little paint night at home.
And so if you're not local to our area, be sure to ask your friendly local game store to get one and pick one up for you, because they're available now for order and stuff like that, which is great.
Absolutely. And they are limited, so each store was only allowed to get so many. So once they sell out, they will be gone. The Manticore itself will be coming back out in the Nulzers line, but you just won't get all the extra goodies with it. It'll be the Manticore by itself.
Okay, very cool. That is very cool. And then Jeff, is there any projects that you're working on that you kind of want to shout out or anything?
I will definitely be posting more in the group. I check it all the time, but I should post more. I think when I start my crazy Star Wars city in the next week or so, I'll make sure I post some progress on it, because I have lots of plans. It involves lights and crazy stuff. So I'm going to go all on this.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you, Jeff, for joining us today.
Always happy to be here.
We appreciate you coming on, talking about lots of different stuff. And make sure, for those of you watching, you head on over to Facebook and join our Painting Happ Lil Minis group. That's where we are during the week, and it's really fun to see different people's progress on their own mini painting projects and stuff like that. Be sure to follow Game Trade Media at Game Trade Media on Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, stuff like that. We have different live streams that are happening all throughout the month with gameplays and also mini painting. And we will be back here next Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Dave.
We'll wrangle him from the wilderness.
He'll come back to society.
Lure him.
Maybe you'll bring a pony back from Assateague.
A miniature pony? Oh.
Maybe.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining, and we will see you all next week.
Thanks. See ya.